Warhammer 40,000 Storm of Vengeance. Two mighty Ork warlords, Ghazghkull and Nazdreg, have joined forces to invade the Imperial planet of Piscina IV. It's up to the third company of the Dark Angels, led by Master Belial, to contain the Orks' initial onslaught and reclaim the world from their savage greenskin foes. If the Dark Angels fail, the galaxy will quake before an Ork war of unimaginable power and ferocity. Welcome back to our channel, guys. We are very excited and proud to play the Storm of Vengeance campaign because it's the only campaign set published by GW for the second edition. And we played this campaign several years in the past, and now we are very excited to play it once again. Unfortunately, the power plant, which was included in the original box set, is missing. We have to replace it with
Imperial Bastion, I think.
Imperial Bastion or some other terrain features. But nonetheless, it's a very fun campaign, and we really do play it in the campaign mode, which means that are 9 battles in total, and each battle has effects to the following battle or to the final battle in the campaign. And we play this campaign as it is meant to be played with the original forces of the Dark Angels and the Orks. Although you are able to play the campaign with other forces in the campaign book, there are suggestions maybe to use a Chaos Cult or Imperial Guard or Elder Raiders, but for our YouTube channel we play it in the original style.
And maybe Imperial Guard versus Chaos one day.
Yeah. Okay, hope you enjoy the upcoming series of battles. Scenario 1. If you want something done. The assault on Cadilus Harbor. Ghazghkull's attack caught the defenders of Cadilus Harbor completely by surprise. The initial attack quickly overran the city's outer defenses, and before the surprised defenders could react, the Orks were all around them. All over the city, vicious close-range battles broke out between the startled defenders and the rampaging Orks. Casualties were heavy on both sides, but the Imperial defenders were soon cut off and completely surrounded, and room by room and block by block they were systematically wiped out by the Orks. Ghazghkull was a veteran of hundreds of city fights of this kind, and he knew the importance of seizing as much of the city as possible before the defenders could recover from their surprise and start to organize a better defense. All across Cadilus, assault mobs made their way to seize vital installations as quickly as possible. Objective after objective fell into the Orks' hands. Within an hour of the first shot being fired, over half of Cadilus was under Ghazghkull's control. There was one objective, however, that was far more important to the Orks than any of the others: the Cadilus Harbor power plant. It lay near the heart of the city and would be difficult to reach, but Ghazghkull knew it had to fall swiftly and intact, or else all would be in vain. Gathering together a select band of the hardest snobs and boys he could find, Ghazghkull prepared to deal with the matter personally.
Because of the scenario special rules, Alex has only got about 1/3 of his army at his disposal, because some of them might be on patrols, whereas others might be close to the power plant, whereas others on the way towards or backwards from the power plant. So he has to roll, and in case of 1 and 2, They're formed into one group, 3 and 4 into another group, 5 and 6 into another group, and at the end he may choose one of the 3 groups or detachments.
Exactly. In total, I've written an army list of 1,500 points with some special limitations which you can see in the Space Marine briefing, which we have shown to you already. So I got 3 characters in total in my 1,500 points army list, and first of all I've got an interrogator chaplain, and the roll for him 5, so he's group C.
Yeah.
Then a tech marine, he's also group C.
Yep.
Then a lexicanium on level 1 psyker, he's group B. Then in the squad section I have a tactical squad, which is group C. Furthermore, I have an assault squad, which is group B. Furthermore, a scout squad, which is group A. Finally, a ravening attack bike, which is for the ravening in the squad section, and it is group B. And I've got only one entry in the support section, in Dark Angel Dreadnought, which will go to group A. So as you can see, it's rather fairly distributed between the 3 sections, and now I have to decide which of the 3 army types I will choose for the upcoming battle.
I can sum it up for you. You've got Dreadnought and Scouts in A. You've got the Lexicanium and Assault Marines, as well as the Raven Wing. I think it's an attack bike. In B, 3 units. And you've got a tactical squad, 10 men probably, not a combat squad. Tech Priest and Chaplain in C.
Okay. Yeah, I will decide it and you will see it at the deployment. Okay. I decided to choose the army with the interrogator chaplain and the tech marine, and both characters are accompanied by a tactical squad. The interrogator chaplain is equipped with a bolt pistol, Crucis Arcanum, which provides him with a 4+ unmodified save, and a chainsword and frag and crack grenades. He wears, as you can see, a power armor, and the tech marine has a bolt pistol, frag grenades, a power fist, a chainsword and a melter gun. And he also wears power armor.
And that's the reason why you should never play with painted models.
Yeah, his power axe, which he is not wearing, actually is broken, unfortunately. Okay, for the tactical squad, they have one flamer as shown on the model itself, and of course all are equipped with bolt guns and bolt pistols and frag grenades, and I included a heavy weapon which is not a missile launcher as shown on the model, but a heavy bolter.
Okay.
And that
makes more sense.
And the sergeant is an upgrade to a veteran sergeant, which carries a hand flamer.
Yeah. And these are my 500 points of Orks plus Ghazghkull and Makari, his standard bearer. I've included 13 Goth boys. One of them expertly painted back then around 1990 somewhat. All of them have got bolt pistol and axe, wearing flak armor, frag stick bombs, and one of them, let's say the painted one, has got an additional sword in order to be able to parry. 157 points. I've got 7 Scar Boys. They were quite expensive because they wield power swords. Got bolt pistols and axes as well. They've got flak armor and they've got frag and crack stick bombs. I've also added 3 Death Skulls, 2 of them with heavy bolters and 1 with a less cannon. And last but not least, I've got a Goth big boss wearing Ork mega armor, and I hope this one should be able to cross the way to our power plant through a hail of maybe rapid bolter fire. But let's see. Okay, and this will be today's table. We've got exactly 48 inches between this edge of the table
up to here
and the blue dice over there, where my orcs will emerge starting with turn 1. And you've already deployed your forces.
Yeah, it's the tactical squad and the tech marine and the chaplain. And I have to put them at least 4 inches away from the power plant.
Yeah.
And 8 inches between the two battle squads.
We are back after my turn of the first round. As you can see, all of my units used their full 8 inches to run towards the objective, and the enemy no time to take a shot, and the big boss moved over there. Even my death skulls ran in order to get a little closer towards the enemy. And I suppose that's the end of my turn, even after movement, because I can't shoot. There are no psychers allowed in this scenario, and in the first scenario at least.
For the orcs.
And nobody can really. So, would you like to do a psychic phase?
I have no psyker because
Okay.
it was in the other detachment, which is far off the Kalidos power plant at the moment.
Okay, at the other side of the city probably. So we'll be back after your first movement turn.
Okay, that's the end of the movement phase of the first turn of the Dark Angels. In fact, the Dark Angels retreated a little bit towards the power plant and manned the barricades in order to get cover.
They seem to have noticed the threat.
There's a green tide rolling up to them, and the other combat squad moved towards the power plant and positioned themselves beneath the edges so that they can move onto the top
The
in the next turn.
silver tide is approaching.
Yeah, and as Marcus before, because all of my troops ran, so I can't shoot and I can't see anything because of the city terrain as well. So we'll be back at the second turn of the Orks.
Okay, we are back after my second movement phase. As you can see, the Daring Death Skulls part of the Silver Tide stopped where they are in order to go on Overwatch. So maybe they will be successful in killing at least 1 or 2 of the combat squad, tactical squad, trying to reach the rooftop of the power plant. Okay, and the others, my big boss, close to Ghazghkull and Makari, the Goth boys and the Scar boys, kept running the full 8 inches as far as possible towards the enemy. Think 1 more turn and then we'll be inside the 24 inches bolter range, and it'll get really interesting. So, we're back at the end of Alex's movement phase.
Yeah, my combat squad of the tactical squad went on Overwatch because they're too far away, the orcs, to shoot at them, but maybe if the next turn, if Marcus still ran, maybe I come within range and can fire at them. The Tech Marine ran also behind the little bunker escapement, whereas the second combat squad moved on top of the power plant in order to get a better view onto the
advancing
Silver Horde. Whereas I decided my chaplain, maybe it is a good decision, I don't know. I put him a little bit in front of the power plant to
break the tide.
And bind some orcs in close combat maybe, because of the building. It's not possible for the orc player to get 6 or so what orcs into base-to-base contact. So maybe it's a good idea. I don't know. The future will show. Okay.
So then I'd like to do my Overwatch. I think all of them should be within range. This Les cannon with its 72 inches, if I'm right, for sure. And all of them are going because I can shoot at any point during. I try to shoot them before they are inside hot cover, so just emerging from cover, -1. Normally, Ballistic Skill 3, I'll hit on 4s, now on 5s.
Okay.
Let's do the Les cannon first. Okay, onto the Les cannon or one of the 2 heavy bolters?
It's the malfunction.
Yeah.
And I didn't draw the card at the beginning of the game. It's in the briefing stated which strategy cards, if any, you receive for the mission, and I got malfunction.
Yeah.
And now it's a difficult decision. Do I play it on the missile launcher? No, Les cannon.
Yeah.
And 2 heavy bolters.
The Les cannon would be great against a dreadnought. You've only got one character.
And it's in cover, so I think it's probably better to play it on one of the heavy bolters. So let's say I play it on this heavy bolter.
Yeah.
So the weapon is destroyed and you receive a strength 4 hit.
Okay, just roll 4 against 4.
So rather good strategy card, which normally I don't draw at the beginning of any other game. So 4+, yeah.
So this one is dead.
So -1 save modifier. Yeah. Okay, then you have to do a break test.
That's okay. Normally they've got 7, but as Ghazghkull chose the hardest guys, there's an additional 1 for all of them.
Okay.
On leadership.
And the first casualty to the Dark Angels.
Okay, and I've got 2 dice left to roll.
Okay.
First, I've got a Les cannon on 5s. No. And then I've got a heavy bolter on 5s here. And this might be the most important roll
2 gems. I collected gem markers,
of the scenario. If I roll 6, you might be...
Okay, 3. Without a gem, that's quite good.
Yeah.
Let's remove the Overwatch marker.
Strength toughness 5 versus 4 on 3s. Yeah, 2 of them.
Okay,
-2 at least. Yeah. So just roll
5
on 5s.
No, so 2 are dead.
So 2 are dead.
I would say distribute them randomly.
Just remove normal ones, not the heavy weapon, and not the sergeant.
Just roll dice.
Okay.
Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And the second one.
3.
To sergeant.
So sergeant down and normal space.
Okay.
Down.
Do you have to take break tests? Probably not. Because you would be shaken.
7.
Anyway. Yeah.
Okay. That's the end of my second turn.
Yeah, I think he was worth the 22 points. 12 for the Death Skull and 10 for the Heavy Bolter. Because he's already killed 60 points of Space Marines. Okay, and we'll be back after my third. As you can see, my orcs have used the complete or maybe all of them, third movement phase in order to run towards the enemy, except for them, who might be trying to do some really lucky shots at the ones who are now in hard cover, especially the heavy bolter. Okay, the only one who went over there and is now being the target of Alex Overwatch fire is my big boss.
Okay, I fire with my Dark Angels Combat Squad onto the Ork boys. So one is equipped with a flamer, so only 4 can hit with their bolters. With a skill of 4, meaning they will hit on 3s. Oh, so all of them hit.
Okay.
And they will wound on 4s.
I'm not sure, have they emerged from cover?
No, they're
okay.
Here. So wounding on 4s. So 3 of them down.
Okay.
Okay, then my Overwatch is spent. And you can fire with your heavy weapons if you like.
Yeah, I try to do so. Okay, this time, normally I hit on 4s. Because of hard cover, I hit on 5s and 6s. There's no emerging from cover, because you're already up there. So the less cannon on a 6. Yep. And the heavy bolter on a 6. No. So we've got 1 less cannon, strength toughness 2+. Yep.
Then
so one of them is probably dead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy.
And I think it's another break test.
Onto
But
the
it's
chaplain.
only a shake test.
It's passed.
To be honest. Okay. As all of my remaining guys have run towards the enemy, there's no shooting to be done, as well as no psychic phase or ready phase at the moment. Grim defenders. Okay, and we'll be back after your third movement phase.
Okay, that's the end of the third turn of the Dark Angels. In fact, except one model, all remain stationary. The chaplain moved slightly behind hard cover in order to shoot at the onrushing Orks with his bolt pistol. And I think I'll start with the shooting phase. And so the chaplain tries to hit the Orks, hitting on 2s here, wounding on 4s. Yes. So one more Ork down. Then the heavy bolter tries to shoot at the Orks as well. With a targeter, heavy bolter.
I think it's a hit.
He hits.
As long as they didn't emerge from cover. Stuff like that. Oh. This is his 4, so it's on 3, target 2. Yeah.
So 2 hits, let's say, on those 2, not on we can remove the painted one if he is slain. So wounding on
strength toughness
3s, so 1 down. Then this guy shoots rapid fire in this direction, hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, no? So those have all shot. Then on to... So? Then
special
survived.
good luck.
It's painted in a lot of blue colors. Okay, so the 4 spacemen armed with bolters can also do rapid fire, so they can shoot twice, meaning 8 shots in total at the Scar Boys, which are the closest enemy squad.
Yeah.
And they will hit on 3s. And they have a toughness of 4 as well, I think. Okay, then they will wound on 4s. So only 2 wounds, that's not so good.
Yeah. I remove from the front. And you were really lucky because they had crack grenades or crack stick bombs, which would have probably killed most of their opponents, because I don't think you'll have much of armor save left.
Do they have to do some kind of break test?
I can do so. It's onto Ghazghkull, and I can re-roll it.
Okay.
And
they've normal boys, I don't know.
They've already got
passed it as well. Okay, and that was the end of my third turn. And we're back at the 4th turn of the Orks.
Okay, that's the end of my 4th movement turn. As you can see, they remained over there in order to take some lucky shots at the Space Marines on top of our power plant. They won't be able to do so. They won't be able to shoot, because they've ran, closing the distance onto the enemy chaplain, the interrogator chaplain. I tried to restore squad coherency. Ghazghkull is kind of fearless. He really advanced to the front of his remaining few troops. There are only, I think, 3 or 4 Scar Boys left, and I think less than half of the Goth Boys I started with. And my only joker was the big boss who used his combat rugs. At the end of my phase, every time I have to roll a d6, and on the roll of a 5 or 6 I get a wound with no saves possible. So if I'm really unlucky, he reached this one, just put him over there. I might kill myself by using the combat rugs without any results, but let's see. Okay, there were none of your troops on Overwatch, I think. So we can do the shooting first. My shooting, the lucky shots from the less cannon and the heavy bolter on 6s.
Top of building, yeah.
Onto them.
As before.
Okay, less cannon on a 6. No. And heavy bolter on a 6. By the way, do you have to restore squad coherency? Doesn't matter. Okay. Maybe one of them dies anyway. If I don't roll 2 gems. 3 hits. Let's say 2 on the first one, which is the heavy bolter. Strength toughness on 3s. One of them, and one 5 plus honor save. No, he's dead. And 1 on the other one. Strength toughness passed. And your armor. But it's another break test for the remaining power armor guy.
Yeah, it's passed.
Okay. So, and as none of the others can shoot, we can go on to close combat phase. Now I've got the amount of attacks doubled as well. Okay, now I've got 4 plus 1 for 2 close combat weapons, being power fist and sword, of 5 attacks. And I've got a weapon skill of 5.
Okay, 4 plus 2 is 6.
Okay, 6
Does it
plus
have power
5.
fist?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can remove the poor dark
It
edge.
would have been a lot. 6 plus 5 is 11, 12, 13, charging 14. So, and I'll follow up onto the next 2 guys just to be sure to do some damage before my combat rugs will kill me. And I roll right now, not to forget it, on the roll of 5 or 6 I get a wound. Oh, I'm really lucky, because if I had rolled a 5 or 6, the effects of the combat rugs would have ended. Okay, and that's the end of my 4th turn.
The Dark Angels, my interrogator chaplain successfully charged 2 boys in close combat.
The painted one.
Yeah, fantastic.
Can't you kill another one?
The tactical squad is still in close combat with the Ork boss, and my tech marine went on Overwatch, so he can maybe shoot his melter gun if the Ork boss slays those 2 and makes a follow-up move maybe next turn.
And this one is probably the only surviving Space Marine.
The Space Marine which uses his rapid fire. Of course, for the victory conditions, it is said that the Orks win if there is no Space Marine within 4 inches of the power plant. So, of course, I could run behind the plant and position me here, because I think the chaplain holds this line a little bit.
But Alex is too honest.
It's a very coward strategy, which are not suited for the Dark Angels, of course.
too much German Sportsgeist to cheat in a way like that.
Okay, so let's start with the shooting phase. In fact, only this guy and the two remaining tactical marines which are not in close combat can shoot their rapid fire. And so this guy, I think the closest visible enemy target are this cowboy here.
Yeah.
So he will hit on a
2 shots.
3, yeah, both hit.
Strength
Wounding
toughness.
on 4 up, so
1 is dead.
1 dead. And those two guys will shoot maybe as well on this cowboy, which is closer. So 4 shots at this cowboys. Hits 3 times, wounds once.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 are dead, so another break test. Maybe Ghazghkull is nearby.
Yeah.
It should be passed because I think he has 10 or
Yep.
something like that. Okay. Then on to the close combats, I think. Starting with maybe the chaplain.
I've got 2 attacks and 1 parry because the painted one has got a sword.
Okay, I've got a sword as a chainsword and the Crucis
Yeah.
Arcanum.
So you've got,
So I've
2
got
or 3 attacks.
in total and a weapon skill of 6.
I've only got 4 or 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I've got
And
6
you-
plus
and-
6
and
is
you
12,
charge.
charging 13. The 1 is cancelled out.
Okay. Now I've got 3 plus 5 is 8.
Okay, I've got 13, so 5 hits with the chainsword, just wounding on 4. Oh.
Yeah, all of them. So this one is dead, and I'll replace it.
Painted one.
This one dies, and let's say
Yeah.
the painted
okay.
one is over there.
Then the
And the
second
one,
I'm sorry,
I've
for
got
the
a
second
third
orc.
dice.
Can he parry as well?
No, I can't.
Okay, then the
Only one had a sword. Yeah.
6, okay.
I've got 5, 3 is 8, second attacker 9, the one from you is 10, whereas you've got probably...
I've got 10 as well.
Okay,
Have
you've
an
got the
initiative
higher
of
initiative.
6.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it's
so
1
I'm
strike.
Wounding on 4s, yeah.
Yeah.
He's slain.
There's no armor left, and you'll probably do a follow-up move towards the next one. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're melting, my silver
Break
force,
test.
my silver tide. Haven't they done
No, not
one
the
yet?
orcs, no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's passed.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the end of my 4th turn.
Okay, I'm back after my 5th movement turn. As you can see, we did this one off camera. Yeah. The big boss killed the 2 closest Dark Angels and used his follow-up to get close to the Tech Marine or in close combat with the Tech Marine, as well as one of the 2 remaining Dark Angels over there. Whereas Ghazghkull has moved closer to the enemy heroic interrogator chaplain, and the remaining Goths tried to charge him in order, I'm not sure if I had to guess, he's still close to my obstacle, and the Scar Boys just moved some inches over there in order to shoot at the remaining Dark Angel over there, as well as they. Okay, let's start shooting, and I think it's still to hit on 6s. Let's do the less cannon first. Yep, oh, I'm lucky. Strength toughness 2 plus. Yeah, so this one is dead. No relief for the chaplain. Okay, no shooting left for them, for the Scar Boys. So we've got 2 close combats. Where would you like to start?
It's your turn, so you can decide.
Okay, so let's do my big boss first, the one who is still on combat rugs. 5 dice, and you started with the normal guy. Okay, So you get a 1 from me, and I've got 5 plus 5 is 10.
I've got 9, 10.
So 1 hit.
But you try
Probably.
with a high initiative because of the combat truck, I think. I think the initiative is double as well.
Okay, now I've got an initiative 8.
Okay, so 1 hit.
So 1 hit with the power fist.
Plus. Yeah.
So this one is gone for sure. And then your Tech Marine has got probably 2 dice because of 2 close combat weapons, and now on a 3rd dice for being second attacker. And my 5 dice. Got a 6, that's great. So now I think I've got 11.
I've got 10.
Okay, 1 hit with the power fist. Strength toughness 2 plus. Yep.
Yeah. And I've got a displacer field.
Yeah, on 3s. Okay, let's see where you're going.
Maybe off table now, just 1 inch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it was just 1 inch, I'll do my follow-up onto him. And not towards the normal one. Okay, and we've got another close combat over there. 3 Goth Orks. One is even black.
I think the black one was
was
already in close combat and the 2 others charged. So where do you want to start?
Let's start with the one who was already in close combat.
Okay, can he parry?
You can make me parry, please.
Okay. 10 to 5. Okay, I've got 10.
I've got 6, 7.
Okay, so 3 hits with the chainsword, meaning... I think I can choose the Curtis Arcanum as well because there's a strength of 5, so I will put
It's on 3s. Okay,
black
this one is dead for
black
sure.
Ork is dead.
Yeah. And on to the next one.
Okay, the 6 once more. Okay, then I've got maybe you won even this combat.
11.
I've got 11 as well.
Yeah.
Initiative 6.
That's probably more than me. Let's say you've got 1 hit.
Okay, so wounding on 3s, yeah.
No armor save. Yeah.
And the last one. Again, 1. 6.
So we roll 1, 6.
Okay, to 1, I'll cancel. Fumbles are cancelled out.
Okay.
So I got 6 plus 6 is 12.
I think I've got 3 plus 9, 10, 11. So you've got a 1 hit
So
on
wounding
3s.
on 3s, yeah.
Yeah.
So the last Ork is slain.
Yeah. And you can do a follow-up.
Maybe do a follow-up in this direction.
Yeah.
Okay. As you can see, the interrogator chaplain heroically charged at the wild orc boss Ghazghkull in order to slay him once and for good.
For sure.
And for sure as well. But I think it's more in the sense of the game because if you just play to win the scenario, it would be wise to just run 8 inch behind the building, so the orc bear won't be able to reach me in his last turn. So I would have won the scenario, but I think it's very un-Space Marine-y to run away from a combat, especially if it is Ghazghkull. So
That's
the
really
champion
fair play
decided
because
to charge.
the only opportunity or possibility to have won would be to move or
Run away.
4 inches and try to take some shots at him.
And maybe if he really survives 2 rounds, then it is a really victory for the Dark Ages. Okay, the remaining Space Marine performs a rapid fire against the Cowboys as before, whereas the Tech Marine is still in close combat with the Ork boss. Okay, let's start with the shooting phase. A rapid fire against the Cowboys, hitting maybe even on 2s because of the distance with a bolter. So 2 hits. Wounding on 4s, so 2 wounds.
Yeah.
So only one scrubber left.
Yeah.
Maybe a break test, but he's within Ghazghkull, so needs a 10 or more to break. So it doesn't. So that was the shooting phase. Maybe let's start with the tech marine over there. He got a power fist and a chainsaw.
Yeah.
And he got a combat value of 10 in total.
So I've got 11.
Okay, so
One hit with the power fist.
blow with the power fist.
Yeah.
And I've
Strength
got one
toughness.
displacer field. Yeah.
So you displace the 6.
Once again, 1 inch. Let me guess, follow up, or do you want to charge?
Follow
because you get a +1
Yeah.
bonus in the last
Next
turn.
time I charge.
So it will be a good idea maybe to charge if you're in your last turn. And then on to the interrogator chaplain who leapt forward into Ghazghkull.
I'd like to. I forgot it. I'd like to do my war. Yeah, because from now on, Ghazghkull is invulnerable, and I've got a +1 on all close combat results
Does it make
for
more
this
sense in your
turn, my
last
5th, and the following.
the complete
Yeah.
round?
I think so. I'm not sure. We look it up.
Okay. So I fight with my Crucis Arcanum and my chainsaw,
Yeah.
but can Ghazghkull parry? I don't think so.
I've got a power sword and a bolt pistol.
Okay.
Oh,
So
no
we
power
both have
fist.
1
Yeah.
parry. So, that's not so bad for the chaplain. So I've got 12 charging 13.
You've probably won. I've
14.
only got. I've got 7 plus 6 is 13, charging 14.
No, I've charged.
Okay.
So I've got 1 hit,
I've got
but I've got only my chainsword or my Crucis Arcanum with a strength of 5 versus.
toughness 6 because
Yeah,
of the
skull.
elemental skull. Yeah.
Yeah. So wounding on 5s. No. But he survived at least this turn. Okay, that's the end of my 5th turn and on to the last turn of the game.
Okay, it's really exciting. It's my last, the 6th turn, and I've got 1 surviving hero
Of the Imperium.
and the Dark Angels over there, the chaplain. I've got 1 over there, a normal Space Marine in power armor, only being a target for my remaining Scarboy and the less cannon, and there's the Tech Marine, of course, over there. Okay, let's do some shooting first. First of all, my less cannon onto the remaining Space Marine in power armor over there, but only on a 6 because of hard cover. No. And then we've got the 2+ probably hit because of the short range. Bolt pistol. Yep. And now strength toughness. Let's re-roll it.
No.
Okay, so the battle is lost.
No, because you have no chance to kill the remaining Space Marine.
I'll fight it to the end,
Yeah,
because
of course.
if your army commander dies, he might have to take a break test.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so on we go. After the shooting with the close combat of my big boss, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice against the attack marine.
Okay. I got the power fist and chainsword as
Yeah.
well.
Nearly the same with me.
+5 is 11.
Yeah. I've got 5 plus 5 is 10, so you've got
11.
yeah. So we are equal, and I've got 8, so it's 1 hit with a power fist. Strength toughness done. You've got 1 displacer on 3s, yeah, and now you displace.
This time in this direction.
Yeah. Over there.
And in the round before, I forgot that my chaplain is equipped with digital lasers.
Yeah.
So he got 3 attacks. I distribute them between each of the 3
We've
Goth Orks.
already rolled,
Yeah.
all of them hit.
So
you've got
strength
on 5s.
3 versus Toughness 4, meaning wounding on 5s. Oh, 2 of the
Two
goths
hits.
are dead.
Yeah. 1.
And the only
3
goth
move. Yeah.
who survives
unpainted
is the
one.
painted one. Fantastic. Okay, who strikes first?
I'd say Ghazghkull. I don't want to leave
No.
the painted.
Well, that's very
To lose. I'm sorry.
very
The
appropriate.
painted orc. Okay, I've got 4 attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got a weapon skill of 7 and I'm invulnerable. And all of us, oh, I forgot it. There would have been another one because if I'm a war, all of the orcs fighting inside the war phase have got plus one to their close combat
but
result.
But equal, so
Yeah.
you... Yeah. Okay,
So it's probably one more power fist hit.
No,
On the other hand,
because
you...
they were
Yeah.
equal from the combat score. And you just got 1 hit from the high initiative, so if you have 1 plus 1, so then he would have get 1 hit.
Okay. Now
as
we've
well.
got
Okay.
4.
Oh, it was not good for the check.
I've got 6, 13, 1 from you
I've got
is 14.
11, so 3 hits.
With my power sword, strength toughness 5 versus
Toughness 5.
4 plus.
So
2 of them.
wounds.
Yeah.
And
And you've got your
I've
Ceres.
got your power armor.
Power armor is minus 3s on
So
6s.
six, So 2 6 plus armor saves.
No.
And then my 4 plus unmodified save for the Croxus Arcanum.
1 and then D3 wounds. I reroll it.
Hey, it was a 1. That's cheating. Okay.
Okay.
It's dead. Okay.
So, congratulations, Alex.
Do I have to roll for my army commander because he died?
No,
within
because
12
the
inch?
other one, the Tech Marine, is, I'm sure, he's
Just
outside
roll,
of
but they
12
can't
inches.
use it as well.
Okay, congrats.
Yeah, it was nevertheless a quite interesting game, and the fate was decided, I think, in the last turn. If you would have slain those 3 Space Marines.
Exciting till the end. I was really disappointed by the overall performance of my big boss. I thought because of the combat drugs, I think he did
It was
fine.
not so
yeah.
bad, but
Killed.
the displacer field comes
Yeah.
quite handy because each wound cost I was able to save. So
But because of the low weapon skill, it's only weapon skill 5. It's equal to a Space Marine Apothecary, Tech Marine, stuff like that.
but it would be a,
Despite his 5 attacks, the combat drugs and stuff like that, he struggled to kill this one and therefore wasted valuable time in killing the last member of,
but it
of
would
the
be
normal
really
squad.
a heroic end if the Tech Marine was slain and only one normal Space Marine as sole survivor hold the power plant
Yeah, but he's been displaced, so our hero...
of the game is a simple tactical Dark Angels Space Marine.
Well done.
And I think we will be back to sum up the campaign and discuss the outcome
And the results.
for the next battles. Okay, guys. That's the end of the first exciting mission of the Storm of Vengeance campaign. And barely the Dark Angels snatched the victory in the first play. And this, of course, has consequences for the campaign because Ghazghkull were not able to capture the power plant. The forces of Nazdreg will suffer from that. They have to pay double or triple prices in point costs for bore boys and vehicles in certain scenarios. I think we just remind you of these results when we play the appropriate scenarios. But you can keep in mind that it's a really bad result for the Orks because they, especially if they want to use bikes or trikes or bore boys in upcoming missions, they have to pay higher point costs for them. Overall, we played this scenario twice up to now, and in each time the Dark Angels or the Spacemen won the scenario, and I think but in today's battle report, I think it was the closest outcome. I think up to the 6th turn you have chances to win a scenario. You just have to kill the chaplain, the techmarine, and the remaining space marine, and it was quite possible to do so. If you play very sneaky as a space marine player, of course, you take maybe Terminators or run with one character behind the power plant so that the Ork player has no chance to reach the enemy. But I think in this game it was really quite open till the fixed turn in the end. What's your opinion, Marcus?
It was really close. Yeah. My worst fear was that I'd be shot by the end of the third turn because I got some characters, especially the combat drugs one, instead of just buying 40 or 41 or 42 Goth Orks. I spent a lot of money, which was nonsense, a lot of points.
In the Scarboys?
On the Scarboys, the normal Goth boy is 12 points, the Scarboy plus 13 plus power sword is 19 plus another 3 because of the crack stick bombs. Yeah, it's a lot of points, and I thought as they aren't allowed to use template weapons or grenades close
to the power plant,
because the power plant
had to take it intact.
Yeah. I think it would be a good idea to use some crack grenades or crack stick bombs, and not a single one of them has been thrown towards the enemy, and I think not a single of the Scoutboys ever faced combat or close combat.
But I think
it's a complete waste of points.
But I'm very good to were the death cults.
But I was lucky.
You have to say that one of them was knocked out due malfunction in the first turn, but the other two, they rolled really often a 6. I think they killed completely the combat squad on the power plant, and even had the chance to kill the remaining space marine with the last cannon last turn.
Some of my rolls were really lucky. On the other hand, your to hit and to wound rolls with the regular bolters were also lucky, and especially because they are really down to a 6+ save as soon with a flak armor, as soon as a bolter shot hits them. They don't have any armor at all.
They killed outright.
Okay, but this was a really interesting opening.
Maybe the Ork player got 2 strategy cards, but the correct shot is almost in this particular scenario useless because I got no vehicles, and in saying courage, I think none of your squads went broken.
Well, it's a last backup.
So it doesn't pay off as well
if
this time.
If you use Ghazghkull along with Makari and the additional +1 on leadership.
For this scenario,
So normally it's not needed. Okay.
Yeah, but that are our thoughts for this scenario. If you have other thoughts or any comments, please below the video. And we'll be soon back with the second scenario of the Storm of Vengeance campaign. Stay tuned. Bye.
At least none of the characters died, because at the end of the book there's a complete section what to do. Roll a d6 for deceased characters. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.